Hey, Scott Hilton, Scott Toss. Just wrapped up the third season of Invasion on Apple TV Plus, and I really love the show. I'm really addicted to it. You know, a lot of people are like, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not the new Battlestar Galactica or anything, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's on Apple TV Plus, so there's high production value. There are no giant stars. Sam Neill was in it, but he's just in it in the beginning, just for a little bit. And there are no super big stars, but it takes place all over the world as aliens invade the planet, and everyone's life is in jeopardy. And they hold back showing the actual aliens that are attacking the people for a couple episodes. So, and it was kind of moving slow, and I was watching, and I was like, yeah, it's all right, it's all right. And then finally they show the alien, and you're like, oh, suck. These guys are gonna be tough to stop. And it attacks, and you're like, okay, I'm on board. I'm done. I'm good. You know, this is not like a 10-star show. You know, you're not gonna rate it the biggest sci-fi show you've ever seen. But it's a great drama. It takes place all over the planet. There are different lives being affected all over the world. And it's you know, like Game of Thrones, where they have the different storylines going on everywhere and no one's really crisscrossing right away. That's what they're doing. They're just everywhere. And you're seeing the events all over the world are getting, you know, just chaos. And they're trying to get life normal and trying to find a way to stop the aliens. And there are little things that are dropping here and there, little hints that might be able to do this, or this person could be able to do that. This person has a little something, just, I can't say. I can't say, oh well. Anyway, it's season 3. So, if they solve any problems, there's always going to be some other problems, right? There's going to be another season. And I think there's going to be a 4th season. So, we'll wait and see, you know. But I've really, you know, come to like the characters. It's a good drama. It's worth, you know, there are a lot of things on Netflix that are not 10 stars, and you sit back and watch it anyway. You're like, yeah, but this is good, and this is good. I'm enjoying this. This is, you know, higher production value than you get on network TV or cable. Or, you know, this is good effects, good science fiction, good storytelling. You know, it's just a very realistic approach to what are we going to do next. Like, oh hell, you know. So I encourage you to give it a try up to when you get to actually see the aliens attack their physical forms, and see if that brings you in all the way, because it is a little slow, bumpy ride at the beginning. That's okay. Just kind of hang in there and check out the different stories and different lives of people. You know, who's going to live, who's going to die, who's going to make it to season 2, you know, different things like that. But it's on Apple TV Plus. And if you've never had Apple TV Plus, you've heard of Ted Lasso, won all the Emmy Awards. That's on Apple TV Plus. The people that made Ted Lasso got Harrison Ford to appear in a show called Shrinking. And the only other show Harrison Ford's done that I know of is 1923 for Paramount Plus, the prequel to Yellowstone. So he works with the best people. You know, the guy that created Yellowstone is huge. And the rumor is he's jumping ship from Paramount in a couple of years. He'll be over at Peacock. So we'll see what happens. If Peacock's still around, I figured if they merged, you know, whoever buys Peacock, and Comcast has lots of money. Comcast, Universal. Comcast is the cable company. And although no one's watching cable anymore, they've got a lot of money. And they got the Universal theme park. I'm like, Peacock was a stupid name. I understood it because I grew up watching the NBC Peacock logo. But I was like, you know, if anytime, whoever merges, like if Apple were to buy Peacock or anybody, they would take the name Universal Plus and work in the theme parks like Disney does. And that would be it. You know, no matter how pretty big your name is, Apple TV, they just changed it from Apple TV Plus to Apple TV. And they have an Apple TV device. And, you know, you get the Apple TV app. and all that. So it's a little confusing, but if they were to buy Peacock, I'm guaranteed they'd probably just change it to Universal Plus and have Universal Studios still be a big theme park thing. Because I don't think they'd want to change to Apple World, Apple Land, Apple theme park, Apple Studios. It wouldn't, I don't think it had the same, you could make it more universal, more of a spacey looking logo. You could do that and have our globe still in it. But Peacock, nah, that's no good. But my favorite sci-fi show is For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus. They have several sci-fi shows, and they spend a lot of money on those shows. And that's the sci-fi show I recommend if you're starting out. You watch Ted Lasso. Some of you may want to see The Morning Show. It's a drama about a newsroom that's been going forever, since day one. Jason Momoa did C on Apple TV Plus, and now he's got Chief of War. So if you ever saw Shogun on Hulu, think Shogun in Hawaii. That's Chief of War, and with Jason Momoa, and it's a good show. And it has another season, unlike Shogun, unless they make more seasons of Shogun just because they need the money. They're like, that was really successful. So they could cheat on Shogun and make more seasons, but edit out that last little bit where they show kind of what happens. Yeah, just edit that out of season 1, and then just go to season 2 or 3 and all that on Shogun. That'd be the way to go. But yeah, they have a lot of good entertainment on Apple TV. Lots of good stuff. And the libraries are getting bigger and bigger. They've got a Tom Hanks movie called Greyhound that you probably never saw in the theater because it was never in the theater. They have a Tom Hanks movie called Finch, I think it was. And it was pretty good too. But Greyhound was great. I love Greyhound. And that's a must-see. And Coda, the movie, won the Academy Award, the frickin' Academy Award. And it's from Apple TV Plus. Because they release it in the theater for a week or two, and you qualify as, Best Picture. And they won Best Picture. So, HBO is no longer the king of high-quality entertainment. It's Apple TV Plus for years now. I think Tim Cook said it at one of the shows. For 4 years in a row, they've been voted best source of entertainment. Got some more. That guy's going fast. That's the golf cart I want. Dang, that thing hauls. Wonder how they had that souped up so fast. I want that one. Add it to my bike, right? A little motor like that on my bike. And no, it's not an electric bike. It's called a Townie Electra brand. And everyone asks me, is it electric? Is it electric? And I'm like, no, it's not electric. Oh, here's another one. No. See, that's a normal speed golf cart going down. That's pretty normal. I think there's supposed to be a speed limit on those golf carts, but I think the people that put the engines in and stuff, they can kind of soup that up a little bit. You can get them to tweak it. You throw them some money. So, and they'll say, what? He must have watched YouTube and done it himself. Yeah, that's it. So, Invasion I like. I really do. We always catch it. We watched it week to week. Friday night seems to be Apple TV night. A lot of their shows are on right now. And we just wrapped up Invasion and are really liking it. And there's a show in Alaska. It's kind of like Con Air meets Alaska. And we're enjoying that too. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it because I'm just out here in the open. Got no way to look it up. Desperate maybe, something. Yeah. Can't remember, but it's pretty good. It's worth a look. But save your Friday nights for your Apple TV device. There's a nice car. Is that a Tesla? No, I don't know. Probably not. And you should have a few streaming services. Right now, the networks are on, so you may not have Apple TV right now. But when they stop, you're gonna look, Google it. Google your favorite shows and when are the episodes coming. They're not going to give you a full 20-some episode guide probably because they're not going to announce it yet. But they're going to give you a bunch of them. And it's going to slow up or stop right around the winter holidays. And then it may not be back. Some of them may be back in January. Some may stop in on November by Thanksgiving, and some may kick in all the way to a little bit in December, and they won't be back until January, February, something like that. So you've got a little time off for the networks to watch Apple TV. When winter hits, same thing in summer. You know, if you're tired of Netflix, cancel Netflix. You got plenty of network stuff you can watch, 20-some episodes of stuff. Another golf cart. We're getting the golf carts today, baby. You got 20-some episodes of stuff. And you know, most of them are hour-long dramas. A few Shifting Gears is on ABC, which is Hulu. Fox stuff is on Hulu. Paramount Plus is CBS, is the #1 network in the United States, CBS. And the #2 network is ABC, which is on Hulu. And I always get Hulu and Disney together. So if you were going to get 3 to 4 streaming services, I don't recommend Peacock, NBC. There's not a lot on there. I mean, you can catch up. You could watch, you know, you could get it as winter approaches. You could get Peacock for a month and catch up on The Voice and a couple of those Chicago shows and call it a day. But, oh, what's that? Shuttle line. Interesting. So, yeah, you see all sorts of cool stuff out here. But, you know, everyone loves the ABC and CBS shows. And CBS has so many good shows. I mean, when they don't cancel shows, they only cancel 1 or 2 shows and have 1 or 2 new shows. You know, that's a sign they've got a lot of good shows to watch. And, you know, in Netflix, you got all these good, decent, you know, we watched Wednesday. That was good. You know, all of you are looking forward to Stranger Things. I know. And they've got a few good ones. The Diplomat's on, I think, right now. So we don't have Netflix right now, but I know The Diplomat showed up and we were like, tried to finish Department Q before we canceled Netflix and I didn't do it. Still had a couple episodes to go. That was bad. But yeah, Netflix has some stuff. And the more you get, there's too much to watch. That's the problem. Don't spend the money. Get it, and you know, you'll get your 30 days. Get it at the beginning of the month, cancel into the month usually works pretty good unless you're trying to get the last 3 episodes of House of the Dragon and have an extra week just in case you can't binge watch it and catch those last 3 episodes with no spoilers on YouTube. That's the way to go. You can get HBO Max for a month and catch House of the Dragon. Or you can buy the whole season on your Amazon or your Apple TV. They sell that stuff. Google has it in the Google Play Store, I think. You sell seasons of shows or each episode for a certain amount. That's how I started Game of Thrones. Bought a 99-cent episode back in the day. Watched the first episode and went, yeah, this is pretty good. You know, we don't have HBO, no reason to get it. I'm done watching it. Wife's sick in bed. She's like laying around, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna find something to watch. And I paid my 99 cents and I watched. I think it was 99 cents or $1.99, something like that. Anyway, watched that first episode. I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good because you can imagine the first season of Game of Thrones didn't have the production value as the later seasons. You know, when they said an army's coming over the hill, it was like 10 guys, and then they cut back to the main actor. You know, and then the later seasons it looked like thousands of people, so they had more money to spend. But anyway, it was pretty good. I was liking it. You know, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's kind of neat. Got to that last scene with the kid and the window and yeah, I had to see episode 2. I was like, oh my gosh. I walked into the room and told my wife, I said, we got a new show to watch. I just watched Game of Thrones, episode 1. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, we'll watch it together when you're feeling better. And then I'm getting HBO and we're going to catch up on these seasons. We're going to start binge watching Game of Thrones because this is really good. So, they recommend Game of Thrones if you've never seen it. Now the prequel show, House of the Dragon, is out on HBO. And I'll cheat with that too. You know, I'll find out when it's coming on. You can look get your Just Watch app, your Internet Movie Database app, your Next Episode app. You can Google it, you know, different things like that. You can just ask your smart device or smart chat GPT maybe, or Google or Alexa or something. You know, just ask when's the next episodes come on, see if they know. I mean, sometimes they release that stuff this is the first episode, we're not going to tell you when the rest of them are. And that happens. But stuff like Netflix release everything, unless they did Wednesday. They did 4 episodes and then they waited 4 weeks. So if you watched it weekly on Wednesday, because they released it on Wednesday, all 4 episodes, but you could just stall and watch Wednesday. And then the next Wednesday, watch another one, and another one, and another one. And then just as that next Wednesday came around, they released the last 4. And you could do it again. Every Wednesday, we just watched one episode. I think we cheated on the last one. We did 2 in a row and wrapped it up. But yeah, so back to Invasion, back to Apple TV Plus. They're great shows on Apple TV Plus. Well worth getting it in the winter and summer, or whenever you feel like, if you only got one streaming service and you're like, yeah, I've been watching Netflix all this time. I need something good to watch. Get Apple TV Plus. Apple TV. Yeah, not Plus anymore. And, For All Mankind, definitely. Shrinking. Yes. Ted Lasso. Yes. C was pretty good. Chief of War, I thought was really good. A lot of violence. A lot of violence. Okay? Not for the kiddies. And that's what streaming is. A lot of it's, not for the kiddies. But they have Snoopy. They have Snoopy stuff, all the Charlie Brown stuff. The Great Pumpkin is now on Apple TV. And they have a screensaver. If you have an Apple TV device, you can pick one of your screensavers besides the Arial one, which is usually really good. It's great to have. They have Snoopy and Woodstock for screensavers. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And we're watching it all the time. Going, oh, they added another new one and another new one. And I was like, oh. In the Arial stuff, you get a few new ones. And then once you've seen them all, you've seen them all. So you switch back to Snoopy and Woodstock if you have an Apple TV device. Okay, device instead of a Roku or a Fire Stick. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Did you learn anything? Give Invasion a try. I absolutely think a couple episodes in, it's like Severance. We couldn't get into Severance, and it's like everyone thinks it's the greatest thing ever to hit Apple TV. And it's just confusing. And then I finally heard from someone online, you have to watch several episodes to get into it. And I was like, oh, well, we watched 2. We watched one year and one the next year. Two episodes. We're not, and it took a little while to get into Slow Horses, which is a great show on Apple TV Plus. And keeping up with the British accents and the fast talking, we put the closed caption on. We're like, but once you realize Gary Oldman, the guy that plays Lamb, the head of the Slow Horses, the rejects from MI5, they also still have to get missions and go and do things. He's the smartest guy in the room, although he acts like he doesn't give a damn about anybody. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun of the show. So watch Slow Horses. All right. Bye. Like, share, subscribe.